In the last video we made a generator out of a 12-volt computer fan. Now I need to think about how to actually spin this fan. So I'm cutting the fins off the fan. They're not really needed anymore. So my first thought was to make a flywheel that can spin and it can keep the momentum of the spin going, and to attach a little central column that I can spin like a spinning top. So I taped 3 CDs together to make a flywheel and glued them onto the generator with a hot glue gun, and I put a little bit of a chopstick in the middle of it so I can spin it like a spinning top. The thinking is that the weight of the flywheel will keep it spinning for longer. Unfortunately I can't really spin this fast enough to get any decent voltage out of it, and it doesn't really make sense anyway sitting in front of it spinning it. So I was thinking about a different design, and I thought perhaps I could turn it into a water wheel, so flowing water could turn the wheel and generate electricity. So I cut up a water bottle to make the fins and used some more CDs for the other side of the wheel, and this is how that design went. When I spin it though, the whole thing feels a bit heavy and doesn't feel like this is really the way to go. Yeah, I don't really like this design, and it also feels like it's going to take quite a lot to get it spinning. The thing about this fan is it's really easy to spin, but it needs to spin really fast. Think about the design of a fan. It takes a low voltage input and spins really fast. So when it's reversed, it needs to spin really fast to make some low voltage. So I'm getting rid of this, I'm changing this design. I'm going to pull all this off it, and rather than that I'm going to put some tiny little fins straight onto the cylinder of the fan, and this is what I've ended up with. Right, this is me 6 months on. I actually bailed on this project before it kind of got to a decent stage of completion, so I never posted the video, but so I'm just coming back to it to just explain what happened. I did manage to get this design spinning fast enough. What I did was I used this thing, which is for like spraying in the garden, like watering plants and stuff like that, and you can sort of fill it up with water and then you can pump that loads and it builds up the pressure in it, and then you can get like a fine jet to come out of there, and I just sprayed the jet up close on the wheel like that in the bathtub, and well, I was measuring the output and I got 6 or 7 volts out of it. So and the pressure that I could build up in that thing, I could get above 5 volts for like almost a minute. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. When I thought, yeah, maybe there is something in this, to remind you that idea is that I want to be able to charge up these little battery packs that I made in a previous video. So then I started thinking, oh, if I'm using that pumping water thing, like how is that even practical? You'd probably have to do it hundreds of times, pump it, and then you know, spray it to spin this thing for 30 seconds or a minute, and then, you know, pump it up again. It's just a total pain. So it's not really a practical way of spinning it, although, I don't know, kind of an interesting proof of concept. So then I started thinking, still on the kind of water jet concept, I started thinking, what if you had like a water tower, and then the feed from the water tower, so that had like a big reservoir that had loads of water in it, and then the feed from that would actually spin this, and it could, you know, keep it spinning for a good half an hour or an hour or something while this battery's on charge, while that's generating the power to charge the battery. And yeah, so I even messed around with that. I built this water tower, but it was a sort of miserable failure, probably due to my total lack of understanding about water pressure or anything like that. So yeah, I've thought about a bunch of other things since. Loads of people have said to me, I'll attach it to a bicycle, and I don't know. I feel like bicycle generators have just been done a lot, and yeah, don't know, it doesn't excite me that much, the bicycle idea, although you can understand why. You know, you can sort of sit there pedaling and doing work, but so anyway, so I might come back to this at some point in the future. I'm also thinking that although this is a fun project to convert computer fans to this, and I've seen people like Robert Murray Smith, who made a whole wall of these that could actually generate a decent amount of electricity. That seems very cool, but I'm not sure that this is going to be the way I go to charge this up. So I think what I might do is I might try and use a beefier motor like this one that I've taken out of a drill. Yeah, maybe even like a hand crank or something. We shall see. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, and if you would like to follow along, then hit the subscribe button. Cheers.